Alright, so while we're still waiting for our water to boil, you can see we got some of these in our ultrasonic cleaner. I wanted to show you this here. You see the brown? Can't try to focus. There's one's got more on there. See the brown down there? Yes, that is dirt and potentially some rust. I don't think it's rust. Now the question is, they're stainless steel. Can they rust? And the short answer is yes, they can. So the next question is, what people will say, well then why the hell would you want to put them in water? Because you're going to take them right out and dry them, and they will not rust. So anybody who wants to give you a hard time about saying you cannot put them in water, the short answer is yes, you can. You just don't want to leave them in water. That's when they become damaged. You want to get them out, get them dried immediately. Alright folks, this is acetone. It is a solvent. If you get it in your eyes, you will need to flush them and you will need to get to an emergency room. So be very careful working with it. Now, I have my bearings in here. I don't know if you can see, I'm going to try to show you. The retainer ring is out. So I'm only going to put 2 in here to demonstrate this. Putting in my acetone. Just need enough to cover the bearings and allow some of the residue to come to the top. Okay, we're plugged in. We turn it on. See the vibration go. Alright, that's exciting. Here are my bearings with the retainer rings and our boiling water. And there we go. The boiling water now, as you can see, is creating enough vibration to remove any residue from those. You want to be anal retentive like I can be. Take a pair of tongs, flip them over. You give them a few minutes and we'll move on to that process now. Again, I'm demonstrating 2 separate ways to do this. You wouldn't do this as both together. Trying to give everybody an option. Alright, so if you're going to remove your bearings, I don't suggest you dump them. I suggest you do use tongs or something similar to them to grab them. When you take them out, you want to put them in your colander because they're going to be hot and they're going to burn your fingers. And obviously, if I didn't say this, I know some Yahoo would actually try that. Dumping them in there and just immediately touching them and going, ow, thank you for the scar for life. As you can see, in the case of the acetone, these bearings don't show a whole lot of residue coming off. One reason I do not like to clean the bearings with the retainer on them is because the drying process is so much more complicated. You'll need to put it in the oven at approximately 200 degrees to 250 degrees for about 10 minutes. Or you'll have to let them sit overnight. Or simply just take that retainer ring out as if you washed them or cleaned them without the retainer ring in the first place. So it is going to require putting those ball bearings back in and the retainer ring in back in, and it's almost as if, why didn't you just take them apart and put them in the ultrasonic cleaner in the first place? In addition, if there's any water, as we all know, if there's any water on the bearing when you add your oil, and in this case it's TK Ultralight Racing Gel. This is supplied by the manufacturer when you buy ILQ9s. When you put that oil in there, the oil and water, water will break down the oil, completely confound the entire process. It'll be adulterated, it'll attract grime and dirt as opposed to just lubricating. And again, the water will break down the oil, it'll be completely useless. So you'll have wasted your time entirely. Get them bone dry before you drop the oil in there. And you're going to want 1 tiny drop. That's it. No more. So now onto our workspace. Our workspace should have 2 areas, a staging area for drying and a work area. So staging area for drying, and you can see the water. So we're going to take these apart and dry them over here. And as we put them back together again, we'll work over here in this area, which will remain dry, free of any water. Now I'm using newspaper, but you could use paper. You could be paper towels or regular towels. But make sure you keep those areas separate because you don't want any water involved in the process over here when you're putting them together and putting the oil back in.
For this part of the project, you should note it's probably better to have two needles, one for removing the seal and the other for popping out the retainer ring. Now this particular needle you'll notice is blunt, which is ideal. Yes, a push pin is probably just as good, but I think a push pin has too big of a stem or wide of a stem. So let's take off this seal. Probably the most difficult seal I've ever removed. Let's try this one. There we go. I'm going to put everything in this staging bowl. Okay. So let's go through a couple of retainer race rings. This is the side that's open. This is the side that's closed. From the open side, you want to take, and this is my, just push. And it comes right off, as you can see. Alright. Then I'm going to take everything and put them in here for safe. Next. Open side, push, and off it comes. Sometimes these bearings will just pour right out if they all shift real quickly to one side of the race. You can see there.
Alright, so here I have a glass bowl for filtering, colander. Unplug this. As you can see, there's plenty of dirt in there and muck. See, the acetone really does a great job of cleaning. There are my bearings. There's my dirty acetone. Okay. I'll take these to my staging area, and now they can dry off properly.
Alright, to start the process, you want the groove side down. Make sure you also have the similar groove down. You take your 6-ball bearings, put them in, 5 and 6. Take your needle or your pin, whichever you're using, slide it over, and then start to slide the balls around. You're back in business. Space them appropriately. Take your nylon race shield. You're in business. Take 1 drop of TK gel. 1 drop. That's it. Put your shield back in. And you're ready to rock. Obviously it needs some time to break back in. That's it.